Hi, I'm Joe, and this is Put in Your Path. I am a medium. I like to say I work for the universe. I pretty much do what my guidance makes me feel, sometimes tells me needs to be done. I am starting this YouTube channel at their request. I am somewhat of a reluctant participant. As you can tell, I'm not your usual YouTube personality, although I did put on some tinted chapstick so that I wouldn't look completely like death warmed over. My intention for this channel is to make it a space where you can come to and take a deep breath and get out of the craziness, especially if you live in the US right now. And it can be incredibly frightening. And what I want to say to those of you who have that anxiety that is gripping you right now, and you don't know how to get away from it, please stay, because we're going to help with that. I'd like for this to be a channel of light workers helping each other, new people who need help, and anyone who is here with love. Nastiness and negativity will just be deleted. We don't need it. We got enough already. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. First, I don't know how to edit. So all of my videos are going to be for good or for bad, what you get. That's also me. Whatever I show up at is what you get. I am 54. I've been married for 30 years to a wonderful man. And I have a 13-year-old child. We had him late, and he has become a very bright spot in our sometimes crazy lives. I have physical challenges that I deal with, and sometimes I'm not able to communicate with spirit. And so I just have to wait until I feel better, and then I'm able to communicate again. There have been times when I have gone up so high, had such a jump in my spiritual learning, that I had trouble communicating with my guides in the way that I normally do. And the normal way that I communicate with my guides is by hearing them. They speak in my mind's voice, and I can tell that it's them because it has a different weight to it. And they're more like my friends at this point because I've had them all my life. All my life. I was very young. The first time I remember seeing spirit, I was 2.5. Fortunately, that was my recently deceased grandmother. But it was been made pretty clear to me by my religious family that they weren't interested in what I was talking about or what I was going through. So I was pretty much alone. It was just me and the guides. And they taught me all that I needed to know through childhood. And once in my 20s, I went through a period of several years trying to figure out what exactly this was, what was going on. Who was I? Why was I here? Did I really believe all of those beliefs that had been pressed on me that had never felt right to me? I got kicked out of Sunday school at the age of 5. So at the end of that time, I thought I understood what exactly was going on. And so I asked my spirit guides, well, I kind of demanded. I said, if this is what's happening, if this universe is truly designed for each and every one of us to be given exactly what we need. Notice I said need. In exactly the moment that we need it. I need proof. That sounds ridiculous. How in the world could how could that happen? So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to show me in the real world in order for me to believe this. And they did. I was at a friend's house. I was visiting. Had completely forgotten about my demand. Her pit bull was all over me, licking me to death. And she looked at me and she said, "You're missing an earring." And at the time, I had these tiny hoop earrings that were no bigger than the end of your finger. And they had a tiny little, like BB-sized ball hanging from them that could be taken off, could be separate. And we looked everywhere. We looked for an hour. I mean, I got down between the carpet and the wall. Nowhere. Could not find it. And I said, listen, they weren't that expensive. I really liked them. But if it turns out he ate it, I don't want it back. So I left and went home with the other earring on. Got home, took the other earring off, and held it over the trash can. And in my mind, I heard, "It will be provided," in their serious voice. And I said, "An earring. You are going to use an earring to show me that it will be provided." And they said, "It will be provided." I said, okay. So I set it aside, had a little bit of a laugh, kept going. A few days later, my friend, whom I had told nothing of this, calls me and says, "I don't understand what's happening. I just got home from work and I went to put my key in the lock, and balanced on top of the lock was your earring. And I'm not even sure how it was balanced there." And when she said that, they said in my head, "It will be provided." It will be put in your path. So at that point, I have to tell her the story. I'm like, "Keep the earring. I want the earring. Um, I tell her the story. She's also a sensitive. And she's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And to me, that was it. Mine was blown. They'd done it. In real life, they'd shown it to me. Now, did someone find it and figure that was the only place that someone would see it? Possibly. But that means that the universe used that person and where they put it to make sure she saw it to do what I needed to have done. Do you see what I mean? Or did they just put it there? Which is also possible. So I went about my day and had a couple of days there where I was really thinking about what does this mean for me? The fact that this is real. This is real. I'm not imagining it. There's no obstacle between ourselves and our source. And we're provided these spiritual friends in order to help us along the way and to make sure that what we need is provided, that it's put in our path. A couple nights later, my friend called and she was hysterical. Now, I will tell you, I'm a retired paramedic. And I had, especially at that time, because I was working, the ability to listen to someone who'd had a stroke, like having a stroke, drunk, had things damaged, and most of the time I could make out what they were saying. I couldn't make out a single word of what she was saying. She was so excited. So when I finally get her calmed down, I tell her, what's the issue? And she says, I came home and I opened the front door and Frady Joe, she called him Frady Joe because he was a pit bull, but he didn't realize he was a pit bull and he was afraid of certain things. And one of those things was the front yard. He took off out of the front door and started running down the street. I was like, oh my gosh, what in the world? Was there something in the house? And she said, I don't know. All I knew is a pit bull running down a suburban street is not a good look. So I went after him. She said, and I caught up to him and I brought him home. And as I was bringing him home, grabbing him by the collar, practically dragging him up the front lawn, he stopped, dead stopped, all fours, and stuck his nose down into the grass. And she had some really nice grass. You know, it's the thin, thick grass. The kind of thing that if you had dropped something small in it, you weren't finding it until you mowed. She said, so I thought he's eating something. So I pulled him back and I saw a glint from the street light. And I looked and it is the ball to your earring. And when she said that, they said, knowing this is faith. And then they repeated themselves. It will be put in your path. Knowing this is faith. And that is how my spirit guides showed me in real life that this universe is designed to take care of each and every one of us in the exact way that we need it. Everyone has them. They're standing there right next to you now. Whether you've never spoken to them, whether you speak to them all the time, whether you think that they're some great entity that you only speak to after you do certain rituals. I never had that. I don't know. I never had that because they were always there. They're like my friends. However, you think of your spirit guides. They're there beside you all the time, 24/7, trying to help you stay on track. And that's where need comes in. Because sometimes you want to go this way, and they know that in the time it takes for you to get that way, something terrible is going to happen. And so you need to go that way. And so they will make you feel, don't go this way, go the other way. Even if you never find out what horrible thing it was on that side. Or maybe it's someone you need to run into. You're walking. Someone you haven't seen before. Who needs a smile that day. Someone who you know and you haven't seen in a long time. And if you hadn't gone that way, you would never have run into them. Your spirit guides are there for you. And if you listen to them, they're going to lead you in the right direction. Now, does this mean that I don't have arguments with them? No. The first time they asked me to do this channel was in January. Sorry, December. I laughed. Couldn't, and by this time they know. By this time they know we have to prove her something in real life or she won't know we're serious. Excuse me. And they did that. And I said, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? I watch YouTube. I don't want to be on YouTube. I don't know why I'm supposed to be here on this platform. I know why I'm here on Earth. I like to call it working for the universe. But I don't know what the point was for them to have me join YouTube as a YouTuber. I guess we'll find out together. I suspect there will be messages that people need to hear, and I'll drop into their algorithm when their spirit guides say, oh, she needs to hear this. Oh, he needs to hear this. Maybe it's because it's supposed to be a fear-free zone. Because being free of fear right now is really hard. But it can be done. And I feel like I should go over that in a different video. I don't want each of the videos to get too long. I hope that you'll find comfort here. I hope that you'll find camaraderie here. I hope that you'll find kindred spirits here. Because there are a lot of us here trying to help. A lot. And it's hard. It's hard being the helpers. It's so much easier to allow ourselves to get dragged down into the 3D, gossipy, angry stuff. But I can tell you something I've been shown is that there are plenty of light workers who are not quite as empathic as we are, that don't take things so deeply as we do, that signed up to be those people going to marches and those people pushing. And I do my part as much as I can. When I feel compelled, or when I say I feel compelled, when I feel moved by spirit to make a phone call to a representative, or 2 or 3, or to also send a message. But that's not my place. My place is not out marching. My place is here, keeping up spirit, keeping our eyes on the prize. So I hope that you'll join me. I don't have any regular schedule in mind of posting. I work on spirit time. So when it comes, it comes. I will probably not post anything until I have 2 or 3 videos. And I will tell you that I am fortunate that I have enough. I and my family have enough. So if for some reason you feel the need to make an energetic exchange for the information that you hear from me, please feel free. And I would love if you would use that to pass on to someone who needs it. That would make me so happy. So there won't be any memberships here. I don't really know how monetization works. I don't know if I have to be, if it'll ever get to that point. I don't know. I'm just doing what Spirit has asked me to do. And I'm happy to help. I'm happy to help you hear your spirit, hear your super spirit guides who maybe you're having trouble hearing. Once in a while, I do my normal ritual is that I meditate and I hear from spirit then, normally my spirit guides, sometimes other things. I had one really incredible experience that I will definitely have to share. And then when I feel done meditating, quite often I will go through and ask for words, ideas from the different groups of my spirit team. Right now, the different groups of my spirit team are made up by my spirit guides. Not just my two, but I have others. My angels and my starseed family. So I have oracle cards for each of them, and I will draw oracle cards and ask for information from them that I should be thinking about, considering. Sometimes I might start crying. Sometimes I use it as an opportunity during particularly difficult times in my life to give me kind of an attaboy, to say thank you for what you're doing and you're on the right track. So it could be a little bit of everything. So I won't know until I turn this on what I am going to say. If you've listened this far, thank you very much. I appreciate your non-judgment. I thank your spirit guides for bringing you here. And I'm just grateful. Just grateful. Take care of yourselves and stay in the light as much as you can.